The first time I made jam would have been the house we lived in before this had a grapevine growing along the front of the house, and it produced loads and loads of very small peanut-sized grapes every year, and there weren't enough to make a barrel of wine. So we had a colleague friend of mine came one day and he said, do you eat the grapes? I said no. He said, what do you do with them? I said, well, we don't know, we just, the birds eat them sometimes. And he said, why don't you make jam? And I thought, make jam? I've never made jam before. So he said, I'm sure it's easy. So I found a cookbook how to make jam, and picked all these grapes and proceeded to follow, and realised I'd made the jam, but I needed jars to put in. I hadn't got any jars. So the jam set in the saucepan. Managed to buy half a dozen jars in the local store, warmed up the jam again and bottled it, and it was wonderful. It lasted a long time. And every year then, for the next few years, I picked the grapes. I used to add lemon to it, a bit of bite to the flavour, just a bit of lemon. So that's when I started making jam, and then used to pick berries in the countryside, plums at the farm, local farm down here. And every year I made jam, and that's how it started, and it's continued ever since. Possibly I've made too much, and the cupboards are going to fall off the wall soon. There's so much jam in them. But c'est la vie. I get a pan that weighs 1.2 kilograms. So whatever I put in there I can weigh and just do a subtraction. So the first thing I would do is tip all the fruit into the pan. We know it's fresh because we've just walked in. We put them about 10 minutes ago. You can wash those back and use them again later. So now what I do is I weigh what we've got. And it says 2.1, so we got just under a kilo of strawberries.
Blackberries.
And blackberries. These are the blackberries. Strawberries are a different colour. So what we do now, obviously pick out the bits which have got all the thorns on. You don't want those, and they will float to the top eventually, but you don't want them in the jam. And then what I do is cold water with the blackberries. All the bits tend to float to the top. There's loads of these stalks still here, but you don't see them when you're picking them. You just grab them, put them in the bag. At the end of the day, you don't want to eat those because they're full of thorns. And in any case, when you start making the jam, any bits left on the berries will float to the top of the jam in the cooking process. So those are all the washed strawberries.
Blackberries.
And the blackberries. Strawberries are a different colour, just to remind people. Strawberries are red, blackberries are black. Okay. Now, I've got all this dirty water, so what you can do with that? We just throw it away. Just give it a shake, make sure the water's up there, out of these blackberries. Put them back in the 1.2 kilogram saucepan, which is my 1.2 kilogram saucepan. And then what I do, the next thing I do, I squeeze lemon juice. Now, if you haven't got fresh lemons, I always keep fresh lemon juice. Pure lemon juice, very good. And squeeze a certain amount on there. Not only kills everything, but it adds flavour, the bite to the jam. And the next thing I would do is put them on the range. Put the light on so we can see what we're doing. Switch that on. Switch that on and take it up to 9. So that will start cooking. Now we've only got about 1 kilogram of blackberries this time. Normally I do about 1.5 to 2 kilograms of fruit at a time. This gives us about 3 or 4 small jars. There's 2 ways of doing this. They can either do it the Italian method, which is using this, which is Frutapeck. It sounds like a commercial, doesn't it? You use Frutapeck today, it makes your hair wavy. So Frutapeck allows you to use half the amount of sugar you would normally use, and it speeds up the setting very quickly, about 4 minutes it takes to cook, and things will be set. So we will do it with Frutapeck today. That allows me to use, instead of, normally you would use 1 kilo of fruit, 1 kilogram of sugar. That is the basic for most jams. With a Frutapeck, 1 kilo of fruit, half a kilo of sugar, and one of these. Where's my glasses? I can't see what I'm doing. Oh, that's them. Right. Get some sugar out, and as I said, we need half a kilo, 500 grams. So here we go. Ready? This is starting to bubble. Smells delicious. Now what I do, once I wash it, I rinse them in cold water, rinse them well, and when the jam's ready, I cook them in the microwave for 3 minutes to kill anything that might be left in the jars. And the lids will be sterilised as well the same way. That's it, these are cooking well now, they're bubbling away. Have you seen this? Smell that, if you can. It smells lovely, doesn't it? You can if you want to, and I'll show you a lot of people do with fruit. When it's lumpy, you can get just a masher, an ordinary potato masher or whatever masher you got, and just crush them a bit, like so, when they're hot. And it's just a way of smalling up the fruit, making it even, so all the whole berries are gone now. And then put the sugar in, the half a kilo sugar, let that dissolve and start boiling. And when you make a mess like I've just made there, make sure you clear it up as you go along. So, I'll cook quicker. So it's quite liquidy now, look, it's very runny. It's like a thick soup. So it looks like all the sugar's dissolved, it's bubbling away quite happily. So what I'm going to do, and this is what you couldn't do before Frutapeck, which is absolutely wonderful. Not only does it save on sugar, it saves on cooking time. Yeah, it's just brilliant. It is really just a gelling agent. So we tip the Frutapeck in. So we'll leave it for about 4 or 5 minutes to bubble away. If you don't use Frutapeck, it's going to be about 15-18 minutes, but you can test it. Get a cold saucer, leave one in the freezer or a small dish or something. Take a spoonful, stick it on the saucer, leave it on the windowsill, if you've got a windowsill, and a couple of minutes and you'll see it, hopefully, go a bit jellified. Yeah. That will cook a bit longer. See how it is, let me try it. Oh, see it's skinning. When I do that, you see it start skinning, that means it's virtually ready to set. Let me try that, I'm sure it's delicious. Oh, it's wonderful, it really is good. Well, I can eat the rest, I won't put it back in the pot. Oh, it's delicious. It really is good. You've no idea. That's the best we've had. I'll turn that off now. Really hot. Get your pan over here. So you've got your ladle, clean, jam funnel. On there. Give it a stir. Fill up just below the rim of the funnel. one more jar we get out of this. Possibly get a full jar if we're lucky. So the best way to do this now is to leave it on the side. I have one of these silicone spatulas, which are really very good. It's pretty good. I use these tissue jam covers, pot covers, to go over the jam. You can get these are very cheap. You can buy them on Amazon, buy them anywhere. 4 1-pound jars of blackberry jam, picked 50 minutes ago. That's not bad, is it? That would be ready to eat tomorrow. It will cool off overnight. If you leave them on the windowsill overnight, you'll possibly hear the lids popping as the vacuum comes in and sucks the lids in tight. So there they are. English blackberry jam. So here we have the 4 pots of jam we made earlier on. Obviously I have to store them away for a couple of days. Let's see if we can get them in the cupboard somewhere, put them away. Maybe in here. I think there's a lot of room there. There's definitely no room in there. I think I might be able to squeeze them up in here somewhere. Let's try them. I've got enough for another couple of weeks now. Wonderful. All I need now is some toast, a loaf of bread, and some butter. Yeah, look. Come on. Come on. Look. What's it food? Ooh, what have we got? Very good. Sit. Good girl. Mine's nicer than yours. I've got jam on my piece.